this structure. That means a MOS capacitor with the source terminal simply behaves like again a capacitor only, correct? The only thing is that it will be behaving perfectly as a capacitor even at high frequencies, fine. But if you want to have a like a transistor kind of operation, we need to have a terminal where the drain current or current is there. Notice the field which we have already generated in this structure, there is no field between this N plus and P because these are all grounded anyway, okay. The only field is VG and VB. So VGB is giving you the field. Which field is this? Vertical or it's just vertical field, okay. We do not yet have a lateral field. So the first idea is that in order to understand the MOSFET operation or that as a transistor, you have to ensure that the electrons are kind of coming as a charge sheet underneath the source. That is what we call as a channel formation. That we have seen in the previous lectures how the inversion of the channel occurs. Okay, inversion of the circuit occurs. So now for the MOSFET operation, we will be dealing with the situation only after the channel is formed. Okay, before the channel is formed, this is nothing other than we call it as the MOS capacitor with the source, or there is also a very nice term which is called gated diode. Why? This is N plus and P is a diode and you are adding one gate over it. So this is also called a gated diode structure. No need to go into all those, that's part of ED anyway. So now what we will do is, we will attach one terminal over here which will ensure what? That drain terminal has got absolutely no influence whatsoever before the VGB crosses VT, correct? We have seen in the previous lectures what is the case of strong inversion when VGB is greater than VT plus 3 phi t. Please remember that. Remember the 3 phi t part. Otherwise, the condition for onset of strong inversion we have already seen. What? When it starts, the channel is kind of formed. What is that? Phi s equal to 2 phi f. But that is something which the device people would be interested in. But for circuits people, we are essentially interested in the part when you are considering on the macroscopic values, not the surface potential here. So when does the current starts flowing with reference to not surface potential phi s, but with reference to Vg. Okay, so Vg will be equal to Vt when surface potential phi s is 2 phi f plus 3 phi t. In your electron devices course or in the basic BTech level devices course, what we usually say, phi s equal to 2 phi f is the onset of inversion, correct? The reason is, what is the value of phi t? 26 millivolts, 25 millivolts at room temperature. So 3 into phi t is 75 millivolts at room temperature. 75 millivolts, and we are talking about in the order of few volts here. So that is the reason why we usually ignore that 3 phi t part. But the reason why I am emphasizing this 3 phi t so much is because, again, in current technology, if you are working in industry, you will not have like 1.8 volt VDD or something. The voltage VT is also around 0.4 volts. Okay, so we are essentially in the ultra low power regime of the circuits. In those cases, okay, that 3 phi t becomes important. Okay, but as far as this ADVD course is concerned, or the long channel beyond 180 nanometers and larger devices concerned, 3 phi t doesn't. So Streetman Banerjee textbook or Nieman, if you notice, those were written in 1970s. Okay, so that time people never thought that such 45 nanometer technology was even possible. That was pipe dream at that time. So, so in current technology, you have to keep this 3 phi t in mind. Okay, in interviews, if they ask, when does the transistor switch on? When VGB is higher than VT. And when does VT come? When surface potential is 2 phi f plus 3 phi t. That will ensure saturation region operation. Okay. So now we are going to add this drain terminal and apply some biases. So first thing is, you have created the highway over here. Okay. You have made the Shamirpet highway, but people need to have a reason to drive from Sikandrabad to BITS. Okay. If nobody is interested to go in this way, even if you make the highway, there is no reason. So that is basically the work of this bias, which we will call it Vd. In the fluid dynamical analog also, you will notice there were two things essential for the water to flow. One was Vd should be positive and VOV should also be positive, otherwise there is no point. Okay. So now this voltage VDS will essentially provide you with the Fx, that the lateral field. So once the carrier is this inversion layer is formed over here, then this VDS voltage will essentially drive the electrons towards the train. As simple as that. Okay. So now let us understand something in a little bit more detail. Before we had this Vd, we will just write one equation here. Before we had this Vd, what was the net charge in the channel? Okay, क्या होगा? Q channel is equal to. Before we had that Vd, the only voltage we had on the channel was simply Vg minus Vt. Notice, if Vgs is less than Vt, you will not even have the channel. So Q channel will be equal to 0. Simple. Okay, we are not going into subthreshold here. Okay, so Q channel will be 0 if VGB or VGS is equal to less than Vt, right? So only that VOV part, that means whatever is in excess will contribute to the electrons on the channel region. Yes or no? So this we can write the oxide thickness Cox into, let us directly write VOV. Notice there is no function. VOV is not a function of X or Y. I know. VOV is not a function because it is just a capacitor. Simple. It will become a function of X when we have applied the Vd. So as of now, so let me just call it before applying Vd. Make sense? Everyone with me? There is one thing, however, missing here. Cox into VOV, that is the net like oxide charge there. Because the channel region is comprising of electrons, right? So basically what will be the charge, positive or negative? If you are listening, you tell me. Because this is a channel charge that is created only by the electrons which are in the channel. Electronic charge is negative, so we will put one minus here. Okay? As simple as that. Okay? Now let us see what will be the influence on this equation. Notice there is no function of X or Y over here. Okay? So that means if you are going on increasing the gate bias, VOV will keep on increasing, so the number of electrons on the channel increases, so Q channel increases. Simple. But in the negative, minus. The unit over here is Coulomb per centimeter square, because V is in volts, Cox is in farad per centimeter square. So this. Yeah, everyone. So instead of that, if we say that Q channel, let us say per unit area, but because notice this is only the cross section of the slicing, the vertical section of the MOSFET. Correct? We haven't spoken anything about the width of this. Okay. So what we can do is, instead of putting Coulomb per centimeter square, if we make sure that this is divided by W for the width, this we will say then Q channel, so this Q channel by W, this will essentially be Coulomb per centimeter square. That means Q channel will be equal to minus W Cox into VOV, units Coulomb per centimeter, again before applying Vd. Make sense? Again no variation of X. Acha, why did we put this W? Everyone clear on that? Notice W is the width of the device. That means we will be having some depth on this region. So if this is X, this is Y, then the corkscrew rule, right hand corkscrew rule, so this one will be Z. Okay, so this direction is Z. What is the width here? As you have said, this is W. Makes sense? No variation because we are not applying any voltage along this side. So essentially it will be just multiplied by W. Okay. Now once we have added, so let me just write after applying VD. Now what will happen? First thing is that there will be this FX field in the lateral direction. So lateral field will be available. What does this lateral field do again? First thing, VGB or VGS will essentially ensure that the electrons are here. That is the whole reason you are having this Q channel in the first place. Otherwise, you won't even have the channel charge. Okay. Then VDS will ensure that this Q channel actually flows through the channel and giving you some current and all. Okay. Now, so let us say at any X value that voltage is in the channel is Vx. Okay. Due to the influence of VDS. Notice the VDS influence will only be along the X, right? Lateral, correct? Think about the fields. Fields are vectors, so they are mutually orthogonal. So orthogonal components will be 0. Okay. So if this is Vx, so V is a function of X. Then for the first time we will notice that Q channel becomes a function of X now. Minus W Cox. But instead of VOV, it will have VOV minus Vx. Now, wait a second. Why did we suddenly write minus here? Why not plus? We are sure that it is VOV is going to change, but minus क्यों है? Conception is that you are applying plus VD here, correct? If you are applying plus VD, that means you are actually reverse biasing N plus and P junction, right? The same thing as we had seen. What is the influence of reverse biasing N plus P of the source and body? Body bias. We have seen that. What does it do? It affects the VT. Okay. Now if you are reverse biasing this N plus P junction, what will happen? You are going to have a negative influence on this VOV because it is kind of reducing the influence of VOV, overdrive voltage, okay, because of the reverse bias. Now let us see what is this Q channel. Let us draw it, another one, N plus VG VD Now we have already taken care of the W, but what is the net current? So what we will understand here is that first thing is what are the boundary conditions for this Vx. Notice that when X and Vx, when X is equal to 0 here, okay, when X is equal to 0, what is the value of Vx? Whatever voltage appears at Vs. In this case we have grounded it. Let us call it Vs only to be like, the reason why I would rather put Vs over here is that we will see in our actual circuits that we are going to use multiple transistors one on top of the other. So Vs may not always be 0. So let us make it Vs. But we will eventually find out that this Vs as a separate one need not be. So this is one of the problems, like in Cedra-Smith or in the standard MEC kind of things. All the derivations, everything has been done with reference that body and sources are always grounded. May not be. In most of the cases, one thing is that body ko aap ground karo, source will keep on changing, source voltage. Okay. So you have to short, if you short that, then VBS is 0, so the body effect is gone. Another option is source is grounded, but the body you are applying certain voltages. Multiple things, situations can arise. So in the derivation which we are going to do, just two-line derivation, you will see. In this understanding, it is independent of the value of Vs. So if we had put Vs over here, that means instead body is shorted to the source. Now source may or may not be grounded. Okay, as you will see here, when x is equal to 0, instead of putting 0, I will put Vs. Okay, it can be any value of Vs. And at the value of L, when x is equal to L, that means at this point here, what is the value of Vx? Vd. Very good. Now notice something very interesting. We are only aware of the boundary conditions here and there, right? We do not know the variation of the channel inside that, whether it is parabolic, exponential, कुछ भी हो सकता है. Yes or no? Now get back to Streetman's book. In the basic device level textbooks, you will notice वो लोग क्या करते हैं, यहाँ पर एक line draw कर देते हैं, which is kind, and they will shade it like that. Yes or no? What they do not explicitly mention is that this is actually the gradual channel approximation, meaning that as we go along the channel from this x equal to 0 to L, the voltage Vx, the influence of Vx is simply from Vs to Vd, it is going like that. Everyone with me? Meaning it is only a linearly varying along the channel distance. Why am I emphasizing again? This course is all about 180 nanometers and higher. I am repeating this many times just to keep, just to make sure that you remember during your interviews. This gradual channel approximation, this number 2 and charge sheet approximation number 3 on the top. Okay, these are valid only for 180 nanometers and above. Okay, so one of the main reasons, again the same thing, why is it gradual? Because your Fy, I have already written that here, charge sheet approximation, what was that condition? Fy, that is the vertical field is much higher than Fx. When is it possible again? Vertical field will be higher only for if the channel is very wide enough. So that means the voltage Vds does not influence the control path. Okay? We will see the short channel effects. I am not sure whether it was taught in ED, but in the short channel effects, one of the major problem with short channel is Vds starts influencing the channel conduction. Okay. Now, so this is basically called gradual channel approximation. It's often called GCA. In industry, you will listen to this jargon very often, and this charge sheet approximation is called CSA. Not computer science and automation, but CSA. Okay. So charge sheet approximation. Now let us come with this idea over here. Subject. So we have already got some idea about the charge in the channel. Okay, how do you translate it to the currents? So, how do you define the grid velocity? When we say that a car is moving at 10 kilometers per hour, that means in 1 hour it will be going to 10 kilometers, right? So if we speak of VDR, the grid velocity, as say 10 power 7 centimeters per second. Let us say some value. That means every second, how many electrons? So let us say this is one bar of silicon. This is the x direction. Okay. If it is 10 power 7, that means in 1 second, let us say this is the distance of VDR. If we say that means this entire block of electrons will be flowing through one of these cross sections. So if this is the cross section, you have made one cross section. So read velocity number, that is the mathematical number of centimeters of this range multiplied by this area will give you the volume under this, which will essentially be flowing through one cross section. Okay, everyone clear about that? So that means if we have the idea about Q channel, what was the Q channel? First of all, note the units also. This is centimeters per second. Q channel का हम लोगों ने क्या निकाला था? Coulomb per centimeter. That means if you simply multiply this Q channel by the drift velocity, what will happen? This centimeter and centimeter will cancel and it becomes Coulomb per second. What is that? Amperes. We will essentially be getting nothing other than the current. So what we will do here is that Q channel is equal to minus W Cox VOV minus Vx. Notice Q channel is now a function of X. This is what we got. So the current ID is equal to, why ID is not a function of X, we will see that in a while. Okay, is equal to this Q channel into X into the drift velocity VDR. That will give you coulombs per second. Here it was coulomb per centimeter. Makes sense? So what is this coulomb per second? Is nothing but equal to amperes. Alright. Now, how did we get the drift velocity? Remember, it was proportional to the field, but field counts are like VDR was the drift velocity of the electrons which are in the surface. So after VGS has reached VT. Okay? So that means it will only be influenced by the lateral field alone. Okay, the only difference is because of electronic charge, the direction of motion will be different. So if you write it as a vector, it will become minus S into this. Okay, otherwise simply VDR equal to minus mu n into the field along the x direction alone. Make sense? What is Fx? Field along the x direction. क्या होगा? Minus dV dx. Therefore, VDR is equal to mu n dV dx. Very simple. See, like I'm not sure whether this was done previously in MEC or ED. It should have been anyway. So we'll just finish it. Now, how do we define the value of ID? ID, what we have written is okay, but think about the directions. Our direction of motion for all the carriers and all was in x direction from the source to the drain. How do we define ID? ID, we call it positive when it is going towards the from the drain towards this. So that means in the MEC you must have seen that if this is the circuit, then this was ID going to the ground. Meaning that the current which goes into the drain terminal, we have taken it as positive. That means ID direction here is opposite to the direction of X. So what we will do? This will also be negative. Yeah. All now what we have to do is QCN, Q channel, we will put it here. Drift velocity VDR, we will put it there. So what is the equation now? W Cox VOV minus Vx. Notice it's a function of x now into mu n dV dx. Okay. So if we just put it like that, dx is equal to mu n W Cox VOV minus. Notice that this dV is also a function of x only, right? So that we can write simply VOV dV like that. Now something important, like whenever we are trying to put one integral here, so what should be the integral here? The boundary conditions are already known to us. 0 में Vs, L में Vd. Okay, so 0x from 0 to L, this is going from Vs to Vd. Okay, on the right hand side, mu and WC of these are all constants, we will take it outside, no issues. But ID, is it a function of x or not? Notice that when we are speaking about the channel region, as long as we have got the channel, we will be having something called drift. Remember, what we are doing here is that this is drift velocity only. So drift velocity is valid only under low fields. So in your Sedra-Smith or Streetman, you will notice under low injection, you will find that term, under low injection or under low fields. So that means this proportionality constant is valid only under low fields. Because if the field is very high, then we will get some saturation effects and all. That happens only beyond like 65 nanometer technology. Let's not go into all that short channel effects. So in that case, what happens is, if it is proportional, then what is happening here? If the channel remains constant throughout the channel thickness, or the number of carriers remain constant throughout the channel, that means at any cross section Vx at any x value, okay, what will happen? You will be having the rate of transfer of electrons will always be remaining the same. क्यों? देखो, आपका drift velocity, so basically current is because of, okay, let me just speak in this way. What was the current density, याद है? NQ into VDR. Correct? We have said something called the gradual channel approximation. That means, this is very important, and in fact one of the topics of interview also, they actually ask this question: why does current saturate? Okay, we have got some time. Why does current saturate? Electron devices, please tell. Huh? See that the current becomes constant. What happens when the channel is pinched off, as your friend said? There will be no channel. Then the current should be actually zero. Why that becomes, rather it's not even zero, it becomes a maximum, it continues to be maximum. Why does that happen? Please tell. No need to raise hand, just shoot. Huh? High field beyond the pinch off point. Okay? So my question is, why does the current remain constant here? Very important conceptual question here. But that happens only after pinch off, like both of you are telling, only after pinch off. यहाँ पर saturation easier to get A grades. Okay, so now my question is, how can we say that even though the channel is tapering, the current at any cross section is always going to be the same? How? Yes, very good. Tell me how. Okay, so notice that we have drawn it like this, meaning that this is actually representative not of the channel thickness but the number of carriers inside the channel. Okay? So over here you have put VGS. So at this node over here, at exactly at the source and the channel junction, okay, the electrons simply start out from the source, from let us say rest. Okay. So what is the drift velocity here? Very low, 0, let us say. Then gradually it is getting accelerated because of this VDS. Now if it is getting accelerated inside the channel, okay, then that means the drift velocity is increasing. Now let us see. Over here, let us not bother about this Q part. Q is a constant anyway, it's just relating to the charge density, so we have put a Q. Let us concentrate that. It means, as your friend said, VDR keeps on increasing as we go along the x direction. Why? It is getting accelerated because of the applied VDS bias. Clear everyone? But at the same time, the go from the source to the drain, what happens? Number one, drift velocity increases because of the acceleration, because of the lateral field. Yes? Okay? At the source, drift velocity is 0. Towards the drain, it will be very, very high. Okay? Note this very high concept. We will come to pinch off in a minute. This very high means kitna? We will see that. Okay. Now, but if it is going on increasing, the channel is tapering, so the concentration of electrons keeps on decreasing. Okay? So that means N into VDR remains constant. Clear? Acha. Now, after pinch off saturation, this is the situation. So, electrons will keep on accelerating until they have reached on this point. Then suddenly they will observe that the channel, the highway is broken. Shamirpet highway is broken, but your car is like very fast. Now something happens which I cannot give the analogy of the car, but let us say Rajiv Gandhi International Airport. वहाँ पर क्या होता है? There is a perfect runway and the flight before taking off, it is basically going at a tremendous speed. It's really amazing. Like if you are sitting on the window or easel, then you will notice that in the beginning when the flight just starts for the takeoff, you will be able to actually see the lights on the sides of the runway. Just before takeoff, you will not be able to see that light. And the distance between the lights are probably a kilometer or so. Just imagine several tons of that aircraft is basically lifting off. So what should be the velocity that you will not be able to see that light when the lights are essentially like maybe 1 or 1.5 kilometers apart? You cannot see, it's going so fast. In spite of that, you won't feel any jerk. Just imagine. That means the runways are like that. So, creation of the runway taken care by control path. Okay? So, here, in this case, you are not going as fast as an aircraft because the VDS is still low. The moment you reach VDSAT, that means VDSAT or the, when you are going into the saturation region, we will see all that. What happens? This is the runway has finished. If it is a car which is not able to move beyond 200 kilometers per hour, it is going to crash. Fortunately, the electrons are like aircraft. So what happens is, even though the runway has finished, it will simply lift off. What is this idea about lift off? As your friend said, tunneling happens. What kind of tunneling? See, this distance delta L is much smaller than the actual length of the channel. So If this is L, that is the effective channel length, so delta L is much smaller than L. Okay, so that means here, since the channel has ended, or let us say run here. Maximum velocity of the car, Ferrari, 300 kilometers per hour. At max, 300 भी नहीं होता. Like, and any, like the worst possible aircraft. So, what is the, so that is the minimum velocity you require to take off, otherwise it won't even take off. Is close to 900. If it is going, and one of the reasons why the velocity keeps on increasing is that as it goes higher and higher altitudes, the friction and all the very less. So when you are going in, and that is the reason why you will notice the domestic aircrafts fly at around say 35,000 kilometers or something, feet above the ground. Whereas if it is international aircraft, that will be even 10,000 feet, even higher than that. Okay. So at 40,000 feet above the ground level, so over there is hardly any atmosphere or any air to obstruct. So that's why the velocity will be even much higher than that. So close to 900 to 1,000 kilometers per hour is the ground velocity, which is simply unthinkable for any of the ground vehicles, obviously. Okay, so this is something similar kind of situation is happening over here. By the time the electrons come over here, notice what is happening. The thickness is kind of tapering to almost 0. What is the value of n over there? Practically 0, very, very less. So over here, if n is 0, as we have seen that Jn remains constant. If this is 0, then what should be the value of VDR? Infinity, right? So by this time, when the channel has become 0, the electrons will be having almost infinity velocity. Again, infinity is a theoretical concept. Practically, what is the value? I'll see that. So it is going to be the maximum velocity that the electrons can reach at any applied bias. Yes or no? Then suddenly if it sees that there is no runway, it will simply take off and it will tunnel through the barrier which it sees over here. So in electron devices, if I was teaching electron devices, it would have been much more interesting. So here, first few lectures on quantum mechanics हुआ था ना? At that time we were thinking, अरे क्या यार ये quantum mechanics सीख के क्या हुआ? What the hell? This is the hell which is happening here. And believe me, entire ADVD works in this domain only. In saturation region, right? You have always seen analog, entire analog. अब कैसे करते हो? You have always, you have like in MEC, Syed sir or whoever was the faculty, he must have told you, you have to bias it in the saturation region. What is the minimum voltage you have to apply so that it does not go beyond the saturation region? That saturation limit. आप लोग निकाल सकते ना? That means in the pinch off. What is the pinch off? In the perfect application of quantum mechanical tunneling. Okay. So if I was teaching like devices and all, I would have, तब आपको interest आता. अच्छा, this is what is happening. Okay. So now at this point, this is a potential barrier. It will just pass through because it has reached the maximum velocity. Now, what is the maximum velocity, drip velocity of an electron in a semiconductor? That turns out to be something what I wrote. Instead of equal to, we will put one tilde sign in the order of this 10 power 7. What is the velocity of light in centimeters per second? बोलो 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 जोर से बोलो यार 10 power think 10 power 10 centimeters या 10 power 8 centimeters per second. Fortunately, you can understand this velocity, grid velocity is way lower than the speed of light. Had it been, then यहाँ पर तो quantum mechanics तो दिमाग खराब करके रखा है. then relativity भी आ जाता. So that means in saturation region or whatever, we need not bother about relativity. This is one of the questions it was asked in Global Foundries interview. Why don't we bother about relativity in electronics? The answer is the maximum saturation grid velocity that is achievable in semiconductor material is way below the speed of light. So after all this, what we have understood at least, N and VDR product is a constant. So basically ID comes out of the integral. Last 10 minutes devoted just to understand why ID is out of that integral. Okay, but very important for you to understand. Rest of the integration, I mean, bit set से पहले ही आप जानते थे. ID into L is equal to mu n Cox W. Then how much is that? Again, this is part is a constant, so Vs to Vd. Okay, here we can put, instead of Vs and Vd, now comes another important understanding. Whenever we are speaking about different kinds of modeling, so this is basically we are trying to develop a model for the MOSFET such that we can use for circuit design. Okay, so the whole idea is, so the moment we say kg, within bracket we are not specifically mentioning that I am weighing on earth, that too at the sea level. Okay, so everything is with reference to the, every voltage, everything potential difference with reference to a reference level, right? Same thing is going to happen over here. When we are developing the model for the MOSFET, the model which we are following, this approach is called source reference. Since Swiss Federal, they have got a different model. So there are several models, but in industry today, BSIM is the standard. Okay, cadence में करना है कहीं भी जाओ, so this is the standard. So we will be doing that. So BSIM is basically the source reference model. Source reference model matlab, it doesn't make any difference if you are putting ID, VDS. For small values of VDS, क्या होने वाला है? This VDS square by 2 will be very negligible. So in that case, ID is proportional to VDS, because we are actually in this graph we are changing only the VDS value. VOV remains constant. Correct now? So mu n C of W by L into VOV, this whole part is a constant, and ID is proportional to VDS. Simple. That's why it is called linear region. Okay. Okay, here we will call it linear. It is so, but notice the slope, this is not there. The slope is basically proportional to how much? VOV. So this is increasing VOV. Clear? Very simple. I mean, these are all known to you, everyone. Then unless we had this idea about this quantum mechanical tunneling, when VDS is increasing beyond this point, what is this equation? Parabola. So basically this will reach somewhere here. This is what a parabola looks like if you directly plot this ID. But this is going to happen when we are only considering the standard classical model. The moment you have this quantum mechanics coming over here, if it was in ED, I would have shown you why this varies, but over here we will not go into all that details. What will happen? It will basically come and reach the maximum, and then it will continue like that. Acha, when is this maximum? Again, bitsat delta ID delta VDS is equal to 0 at saturation. Okay, what will that be? What is the value? Mu n C ox W by L VOV minus VDS sat, implying VDS sat is equal to VOV. Okay, this is no point. I mean, this you already know. So that means at this part, VDS sat, saturation velocity is equal to VOV. Beyond that, what we have seen, it will just continue to be a straight line. Okay, so beyond this point, this is saturation region. This is linear. What is this? This is increasing VOV again. Makes sense? Now, when we are saying that this is constant, what is the value of GD then? GD is equal to delta ID delta VDS is equal to 0. It's basically the same thing like that for a constant value of VOV. So on resistance क्या होगा? Or R on will be 1 upon GD. That means infinity. Correct? That means the transistor, whatever we have shown over here, is essentially going to be an ideal amplifier with giving you infinite gain. In reality, it never happens. What is the problem with that? That comes because of this kind of beyond pinch off. Pinch off कहाँ हो रहा है? This is also called the pinch off region. Beyond pinch off, beyond this particular boundary, linear saturation boundary, it starts having this kind of a phenomenon. The channel simply recedes away from the drain terminal and gradually moves on the source side. But remember, always delta L is much smaller than L. Okay. Before we go into the channel length modulation, just understand what is the value of GM. It is defined by delta ID delta VG.